Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and explore exactly how Spain pulled off their absolutely record-breaking Euro 2024 victory. Today, we're going to look way past the highlight reel. We want to discover the true origin of their on-pitch innovation and figure out how a team that had seemingly lost its way managed to completely reinvent itself on the biggest stage in European football. To set the mood here, just listen to this incredible reaction from the Spanish press. Quote, Spain kicked the football into its inventor's face and ascended to the Euro throne for the fourth time. I mean, wow. This striking quote brilliantly illustrates the sheer triumphant attitude of La Roja returning to glory. They didn't just win the tournament, they did it by outplaying everyone in their path, including the very nation that invented the sport. To really understand this victory, we're going to break this down into 5 key parts. A new Spanish era, 7 steps to glory, the breakout stars, crushing the English dream, and finally, Kings of Europe. Let's jump into Part 1, a new Spanish era. To truly understand this victory, we first have to look at the architect who rebuilt the team from the ground up after years of pretty serious struggle. Because as we know, true innovation rarely happens overnight, right? It requires a solid foundation. And Spain clearly needed a hard reset. They had that legendary golden era from 2008 to 2012, where they won 3 consecutive major titles. But man, from 2014 to 2022, they were just stuck. We're talking multiple round of 16 exits at the World Cup, struggling to find an identity, and totally failing to adapt their classic possession game to modern, fast-paced football. They desperately needed a spark. They needed a resurgence. And the true origin of their much-needed innovation came from a kind of surprising place. Manager Luis de la Fuente wasn't exactly a flashy blockbuster hire, but he was exactly what they needed. Why? Because he had already spent years leading Spain's under-19, under-21, and Olympic teams. He intimately knew the youth players he was about to promote. He didn't have to guess what his players were capable of. He had literally grown up with them in the coaching ranks. That deep-rooted trust, that is exactly where their innovative new playing style was born. Moving right along to Part 2, 7 steps to glory. 7. Spain became the first team ever to win 7 consecutive games at a European Championship without needing penalties. A 100% win record. No lucky shootouts, no scraping by with ugly draws, just pure, unadulterated winning. And they definitely didn't have an easy bracket either. The crucial point here is their grueling path through the knockouts. After dismantling a highly motivated Georgia side, they had to go through the tournament hosts, Germany. Then, the tournament favorites, Kylian Mbappe's France. And finally, a desperate England team in the final. They literally ran the gauntlet of European heavyweights. So how did they do it? Through De La Fuente's absolute tactical masterclass, they switched to a dynamic 4-2-3-1 formation. But the real innovation was how they played within it. They didn't just abandon their traditional tiki-taka possession game. Instead, they evolved it. They combined that classic suffocating control with a lightning-quick, lethal directness on the wings. Plus, they developed this elite mentality. Falling behind against Georgia and France didn't panic them in the slightest. And with an incredible 10 different goal scorers, they proved that danger could come from literally anywhere on the pitch. 15 goals. That breaks the record for the most goals scored by a single team at a European Championship. This wasn't just winning. This was highly entertaining, highly effective, attacking football. But of course, you can't score 15 goals without some incredible individual talent. Which brings us to Part 3, the breakout stars. You simply cannot talk about Euro 2024 without talking about Lamine Yamal. It is honestly wild to even process this. At just 16 years and 362 days old, he became the youngest scorer in Euro history. He delivered 4 assists across the tournament, and that wonder goal, a stunning strike from way outside the box in the semifinals against France that completely flipped the momentum of the entire tournament. Watching him play actually felt like discovering the future of the sport in real time. Now, let's move to the other side of the pitch. Opposite Yamal was Nico Williams. He injected this dizzying, terrifying pace into the game that perfectly complemented Spain's older, more methodical machinery of control in the midfield. He tested defenses match after match, which ultimately culminated in him scoring the crucial opening goal in the final. Together, these two wingers were the sharp end of Spain's innovative new spear. But you know, their impact went far beyond just tactics. As the Spanish media, specifically José Carlos Carabias, pointed out, this is a team that represents the plural, diverse, and integrated Spain of 2024. Players like Yamal and Williams, born in Spain to immigrant parents from Morocco, Equatorial Guinea, and Ghana, found themselves carrying a massive representational weight. They symbolize a beautiful, modern, and diverse Spain, proving that true innovation and strength so often come from embracing new perspectives and backgrounds. Oh, and we absolutely have to mention Dani Olmo. When you talk about squad depth, Olmo is the poster child. A La Masia product playing for RB Leipzig, he bounced back from a terribly injury-hit club season to become this totally unlikely hero. When star midfielder Pedri went down injured in just the 7th minute against Germany, Olmo was subbed on. And he didn't just fill in, he thrived. He scored the opening goal and then provided a pinpoint assist for Mikel Merino's dramatic 119th minute winner. He was the ultimate clutch player for a true team.
All right, part 4, crushing the English dream.
All of this magnificent play, all of this tactical evolution built up to a massive showdown in Berlin. An England team desperately trying to end a 58-year trophy drought stood in Spain's way. And the final was a stark, absolutely fascinating clash of styles. The Spanish press described Spain's aggressive attacking approach as a hymn to football. They dominated possession and racked up 14 shots. On the flip side, they kind of mocked England's hermetic conservative setup, calling it a Shakespearean tragedy focused almost entirely on containment and absorbing pressure. Basically, Spain brought a sword and England brought a shield. So here is how that clash actually played out. Nico Williams struck first right after halftime in the 47th minute, finishing a brilliant combination with Yamal. England pushed back hard, with substitute Cole Palmer leveling the score in the 73rd minute with a beautiful strike. Now, in past eras, Spain might have crumbled right here, but leaning on that elite mentality we talked about earlier, they didn't panic. Instead, they just kept pushing, and substitute Mikel Oyarzabal poked in the 86th-minute winner off a perfect cross from Marc Cucurella. Game, set, match. And that leads us to our final section, Part 5, Kings of Europe. With the final whistle in Berlin, the tension broke and the celebrations just erupted. That victory sealed their 4th European championship. 4. That breaks the tie with Germany, officially making La Roja the undisputed, standalone kings of the continent. And the fallout back home? Absolutely euphoric. Tens of thousands of fans packed the streets of central Madrid to welcome the team home. They partied alongside Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez and King Felipe. It wasn't just a celebration of a trophy. It was the welcoming of a brand new generation, a team that finally stepped out of the massive shadow of their 2008 to 2012 forefathers to forge their own fearless legacy. Which leaves us with this one final, thrilling question to ponder. With a young, diverse, and fearless golden generation already breaking records, just how long will this new Spanish Armada rule international football? I mean, if a 16-year-old and this newly formed, highly innovative squad can conquer Europe today, what on earth are they going to achieve at the World Cup tomorrow?